Hi, I'm Larry Chiang, and I collect things on what it is they do not teach you in school. And I crashed this place. That's one of the things they don't teach you, right? Look who I got. It's Peacock, executive editor of CNN Money. So, Chris, credit and money, what are your thoughts on that and how it applies to South by? Have you seen cool stuff that's here?
Sure. Well, you know, the interesting thing about South by Southwest is very much about the digital transformation of all things, really. And the amazing thing about digital processes is they can be, they make things very, very efficient. And everything about credit these days is generally very inefficient. So it brings a lot of efficiencies, you know, the sort of market efficiencies into the credit process. And we were talking earlier about, you know, the Fair Credit Bill and how that can, you know, right now it's all through snail mail and it's very, very inefficient. So if you have some kind of credit billing dispute, it can take a long, long time to resolve. So I think, you know, the kind of technology that you see coming here can make a lot of that process far more efficient. We have a long ways to go. And honestly, you know, government and other agencies have been very slow in adapting that. But one of the huge themes here at South by Southwest is things like open government and making that very transparent. You know, there are some very brave and hardworking people in government who are trying to push against very heavy institutional headwinds on making things like government more transparent, making it more efficient. But the kind of skills that people here at South by have, developers and designers can make applications and tools to really make that much more transparent and efficient.
I love Code for America. Tim O'Reilly, I love Code for America.
Exactly right. I was going to say the same thing. I mean, when he made that call to action, Code for America,
right,
developers to spend a year working with government, that could be a really kind of transformative thing for people here at South by to take on as a charge. Think of it as almost like a, you know, sort of a Peace Corps for what technology can do for government.
You mentioned before the postal mail. Can you kind of recap for some consumers that kind of don't know the disparity between calling and preserving your rights or emailing and preserving your rights versus why consumers actually have the right?
Right. Well, I think it's because you know, the banks haven't fully digitized their processes. Regulators haven't digitized their processes either. And so the only way for consumers to really interact with that is through, you know, the U.S. Postal Service. And as we know, the U.S. Postal Service is nowhere near as quick or adaptive as, say, the internet or the web. And so there's a real opportunity here for both consumers who also need to take charge of their finances and take advantage of all the digital processes and applications that are out there, as well as government and the banks. But, you know, if you want to look at a transformative technology that's out there, think something like Mint.com, which makes managing your credit kind of as close to frictionless as you can really get. You know, they're really good about sending you reminders about your credit status and so forth. So that's the kind of thing that's sort of the thin end of the wedge of driving that sort of change.
But what about the regulatory effect of where, I mean, there's no such thing as the Larry Chiang Electronic Credit Protection Act, where if you email the bank, I mean, talk about why or when that could come down the pipeline with the electronic, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, you know, the Obama administration has obviously made a big push toward open government and taking advantage of these new technologies. I haven't seen anything, though, that has really taken that first step. Now, this is the first time we're going to have the Consumer Finance Protection Agency, you know, headed by Elizabeth Warren.
Yes, she's from Harvard.
Yeah, exactly right. And, you know, well-known professor, well-known consumer advocate, may be the kind of thing that she could take on and help drive through. We'll see.
Right.
It'll be an interesting story for us to cover in the future.
It should be. I'm looking forward to keeping in touch. How do we follow you on in the online world?
You can follow me on Twitter at Peacock C. That's Peacock like the bird and C like Chris.
Okay. You guys guys have a Facebook fan page yet?
You bet. It's facebook.com/CNNmoney.
Oh, that's easy enough to remember. Awesome stuff. How do we? This is awesome. I totally appreciate your time, Chris.
Thank you, Larry.
Appreciate it. So I'm gonna keep collecting on things that they do not teach you in school. And I'm Larry Chiang. If you want to reach out to me, my cell phone number is 650. I know, weird, right? That I would actually give you my real cell phone. 650. It's on every blog post. It's 650-283-8008.
Thank you, Larry.
I really do.